if you're having mental health issues, it's not a death sentence. But most people do not know that some mental health issues are actually brain injuries. If you want to make money, but don't lose your feminine touch. Because what rocks this man's boat could sink ours. Isolation, not involving in your regular activities that you usually enjoy, not wanting to talk to people, always sleeping. These are the major symptoms that could show that one is battling with either anxiety or depression.
Do you know that your health is a very important aspect of your life? Of course, that's a question that we all could actually answer, which is yes, it is important that you check your health, you check your mental status, you check everything about your health. This is Tepoctv, and my name is Boma Green. You're welcome again to another edition of Health Hustle. Join us as we conquer health, wellness, good living, one episode at a time. And of course, the essence of this program is to give you basic knowledge, not just basic, very elaborate, detailed information about your health entirely. And we're going to be having experts on this show where they get to tell you and release their wealth of knowledge to you concerning your health in general. And of course, I'm not going to be alone on this. I have a guest in my midst. She has been a part of this program right from the start. She's an occupational mental health safety specialist. She's also a mental health enthusiast. You can also refer to her as a mental health therapist. Please make welcome Ms Prisca Obi. You're welcome once again. You're always looking beautiful. Just like you mentioned in the last edition that your looks is of great importance to you and you prioritize that a lot, and it's very, very obvious. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Me too. Always a pleasure for myself and my viewers to have you on the show today. On today's discussion, we're going to be talking about caring for your mental health. Like previously on this show, the last edition, we talked about health and how encompassing it is. It is holistic in nature. It involves your physical, mental, emotional state, financial states, and spiritual states that you cannot do without another. Today, we are going to be talking about mental health. We're going to be delving into mental health properly, like caring about your mental health as a human being. So first, or before we go into the main topic of discussion today, now would you like to share your experience as a mental health enthusiast, how it has been, and what interested you so much to like delve into this discipline, even as broad as health is itself? You chose mental health.
So like I mentioned the last time, I studied health and safety. And so during my course of study, we are exposed to different aspects of health. And because I struggled with low self-esteem, insecurity, and identity crisis as a teenager, when they started talking about mental health, the symptoms and how people who have mental health issues behave, and I'm able to say, oh, I remember. I think when I was 15, I had this kind of feeling. I know the mistake is that people think mental health, you have to be crazy, or they have to send you to the hospital. No, if you're not understanding how you're feeling, if you don't know who you are, if you're not sure of your moods and how you can control them, those are still parts of mental health. But then so far, it's been amazing because I'm able to meet several persons, we're able to talk, and my compassion for people have developed. That's because you could see people smiling, but then deep down, they are really struggling. And it made me more chilled and relaxed and just see people for who they are and take life more ease with myself.
Okay, so it's safe to say that it's coming from experience.
It's coming from a place of I really want people to know this. Because since I became more conscious and aware and made more effort to ensure that my sanity, like I'm always saying, like I knew how peaceful my life became, and I knew the kind of joy, the kind of full life I'm having. And so it's something I'm willing to share anytime, any day. And I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, moving on. We want to know, like every other sickness and every other problems in life. These challenges come with symptoms.
Yeah.
And what are the possible symptoms that you could actually look out for, either yourself, your neighbor, your loved ones, to know that this person is developing mental health issue? If you could just tell for yourself that, okay, with all of these things that this person is displaying, this person has mental health issue and we need to check it. So what are the possible symptoms that you think people develop or people exhibit,
Yeah.
that you could say that they have mental health problems?
Okay, like I said before, it's also important that people know that mental health issues, you don't have to be crazy.
Crazy, exactly.
You don't always need a psychiatrist. But when you notice that, just as maybe you come to the office, the person who is always lively all of a sudden does not want to talk. You're just very chilled and the mood continues for days, 2 days, 3 days, and the person is
Not back to
isolated. Yeah.
himself.
And that's a sign. You begin to, what's up now? I hope you're okay. And some persons will just say, yeah, I'm fine. But it's also important to just say,
Yes.
I know this is not you, but whatever thing you're going through, I'm praying for you. I want you to know that I'm here in case you ever want to talk.
Yes.
And you see people begin to isolate themselves. That's the
Yes.
number one symptom for people who are going through mental health issues. They begin to isolate themselves. If they enjoy a particular activity, they will not want to do it
Find
again. They
pleasure,
just
yes.
yeah. And then there are some persons who experience body pain.
Okay.
They're always very exhausted. You always see them on the bed. And be like, some person say, this girl, you're just too lazy. Sometimes it's not laziness. There are a lot of things they're struggling with. And because you're not able to wrap your head around how you feel and what you're experiencing, you just become very tired.
Yes.
There are some persons like me, if I'm really, really upset, I'm very sad, I begin to experience stomach upset. If I have any form of anxiety, like each time I'm trying to take a big move, anxiety comes in, and the first thing I begin to feel rumble in my stomach. And so, but different persons have different symptoms, yeah. So, but you must look out for this person isolating themselves, the activity they enjoy, are they still doing it? Or are you constantly seeing them sleeping more than normal? Or maybe they're overeating. Like for me, when I'm stressed, my appetite increases.
Yes.
And some persons who are also like that, you will see them always want to eat because food gives them pleasure and it makes them feel good, and they are trying to run away from whatever thing they are facing and just channel all of their energy in food. So there are several symptoms, but isolation, not involving in your regular activities that you usually enjoy, not wanting to talk to people, always sleeping, these are the major symptoms that could show that one is battling with either anxiety or depression. Yeah.
Wow, this is quite educating. I even know that tiredness was among the symptoms, among the symptoms of mental
consistent
health
tiredness. Like you always see them, they're always exhausted. I don't have strength. I just want to rest.
Rest,
You know, yes.
So please do check up on yourself, your loved ones, if they are having these challenges, so as to address the issue. Okay, so moving on, as even as a professional that you are in this field, you cannot say you're not a human being. Even though you have wealth of knowledge, you have experience in this field, just like every other doctor in every other field would want treatment. As a human being, to even get sick sometimes, and then you also need treatment. So have you in any way or anyhow experienced mental health challenges? It's not about you going crazy and mad, like you said.
Yeah, mental breakdown.
Yeah, mental breakdown. So have you experienced it one way or the other? And would you like to share?
Of course. As long as you're a human being. And number one meaning, or no, one of the major definitions in mental health is your ability to cope with the normal stresses of life.
Yes.
That means as long as you're growing, you're evolving, you constantly come with stress. But your ability to cope with it, how you handle it, is what will determine how mentally healthy. But despite all the knowledge that I have, this August that just passed, I experienced a very serious mental breakdown. And that's because personally, I think I've also said this, each time I'm trying to make a new move, or in fact, most entrepreneurs experience it. Outside the mental health, I do all that little businesses that I used to serve the world. And when I'm trying to figure out how can I scale up, how can I do this, what's the next thing, I experienced some mental breakdown. Like I said, August, I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I finished my MSc program. My business was already very low, and I'm on the process of trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I think I was almost losing my mind. Yeah. So, but I had people.
Yes.
I had friends who I could tell how I was feeling, and I could tell how, oh, babe, I'm scared. I don't even know what next to do. I don't know how to upscale my business. And I just feel sometimes we all need that low moment.
Yes.
Because we can't keep moving all the time.
Yes.
But except something slows you down, that's actually when you're able to realize how much you want this and the reason why you're pushing for this.
Finding like your
Yeah,
strength.
yes. And so around August, I didn't know what to do. I got confused. That's because the brain is always in search of the next exciting thing.
Yes.
And when you do one particular thing for a very long time, you could get tired.
Yes, you mentioned that last time.
So I think that is what happened to me. And I broke down. I was confused. I was tired. I was always on my bed. I didn't want to go out. My friends would invite me for, maybe I love to see movie and do karaoke. I said, I beg, I just want to rest, you know. So we all, in fact, everybody, a pastor, anybody that you are, our mothers, our fathers, children, as long as you're having interaction with human beings, as long as you're somebody who is evolving, you always come with stress. But how you handle it is what really matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Furthermore, with like every other topic and every other discussion, people have misconceptions about things.
Yeah.
People perceive it the wrong way at some point and at sometimes. So sometimes they need correction. That's correction to know that this thing you're saying it's a misconception about this thing. So we want to know what are the misconceptions about mental health?
Okay. When you tell someone, man, I think I'm just having mental breakdown, the first thing that comes to an average Nigerian is that maybe you're going crazy.
Crazy. Yes.
The only problem I have with the Gen Zs now is that they're even requesting for mental health day off. Like they're looking for a day off to take care of their mental health. And there are lots of misconceptions. First, if you're having mental health issues, it's not a death sentence.
Yes.
You're a human being, you're faced with challenges every day. In fact, as long as you want a big life, you must be prepared for the big challenges.
And everything that comes
So
in.
it's not a smooth ride. It's not a smooth ride. And then the second misconception is that all mental health issues maybe come from within. But most people do not know that some mental health issues are actually brain injuries. And several research have shown that some adults who act out of character, who have maybe depression, anxiety, or bipolar disorder, some of them actually have brain injuries. Some persons, a research was conducted among prisoners, and they found out that over 75% of them had brain injury.
Wow.
In fact, I knew of a researcher who said he observed his nephew. His nephew was always sketching how he was going to shoot, kill people, and was always excited about maybe movies that are very scary. And one time he beat up a girl in his class. And over time, they noticed he was becoming very aggressive. And they asked him what happened. He said, sometimes I just feel like killing people. I just feel like, I don't know what happened, but this is how I feel. And I can't control it. They took him to the hospital, carried out a brain scan, and they found out that his frontal lobe had an injury.
Wow.
They also gave an instance of a boy who was always fighting, and they took him to different schools because he was always fighting, only for them to carry out a brain scan, and they saw that he had a crack at the back of his brain.
Wow.
And tracing backward, they said he fell down as a child. You know when kids will fall and you just
you
overlook
pick them
it,
up,
you just tell them sorry. Some of those falls could give them injury in the brain, which over time, when they become adults, it begins to manifest. And when you see people, that girl, she has short temper, and without maybe knowing that this person could have a brain injury. The armed robber you're arresting, maybe the person you're calling a thief, could be someone who has brain injury and is not able to control his actions. And so, like I said, getting to know about mental health made me more compassionate about people, because I can't see through your brain. I don't know if you have brain injury. So when I see people act out of character around me, the first thing that happens to me is, what could be wrong? What happened? And I didn't just get to this point before I used to react.
Yeah.
But when I became more aware that there are some factors that we can't see that is constantly influencing people's behavior. And so actually by nature, we are all born innocent, empty,
Yes.
peaceful, kind. We don't have any knowledge of anything. But our experiences in life are what builds us and make us what we are. And so when you see someone who is struggling with mental health or who is behaving in a certain way, don't just think the person is crazy. I think it calls for compassion. And when you see people, who also act out of character around you, yes, it's okay. So yeah, she's very toxic. I also know a man who all of a sudden, a very kind and loving husband became very aggressive. And the wife they were now asking for divorce. She said, I can't marry him again because this is not the husband I married. Only for them to do a brain scan, and they found out that his either his left or right brain has become darker than normal. Wow. And so they asked, do you smoke? He said no. Do you drink? He said no. Do you dope? He said no. What kind of job do you do? They found out that he works in a paint industry. The inhalation of the chemicals affected his brain. Wow. And reduced his brain activity, made him more aggressive, reduced the production of happy hormones in his brain. And so when you see people behave in certain ways and you just want to give or say, she's toxic, he's toxic, she's very aggressive, he's very aggressive, but without knowing that there are certain factors which you don't know, which I don't know, that are influencing their behaviors. So when we become more compassionate, and I think that will it may not even really get to find out, but for you to look at people as a child, I think that has helped me. Like I try to see the child in everybody, and when people behave in certain ways, I just know that this is not how you were born, and the only person I'm going to look at is the little boy in you who does not know anything, who does not know anything. I just let it slide.
Wow. So going by what you just said, we could actually help people by making more research and being compassionate. So please show love to that person that you think is toxic, show love to that person that you think is behaving abnormal. So as to enable you find out what's the cause and what the problem is at the end of the day. So furthermore, we want to know, what are some self care practices that you've incorporated over time that has helped you so much in maintaining mental health and maintaining your, like, going about your daily activities? What are these practices that have helped you so far that you think you did at some point that helped you even as a person personally? You could share so some other persons could learn.
So outside the fact that the last time I said I grew up in a very happy home, my nursery and primary school, I was coming out first until I entered secondary school and I started taking last. They even asked me to repeat class until they changed me to a new school. But whatever thing that happened to me, my JSS1 couldn't go out till I even got to SS3. And my family, we get to talk. I grew up in a very large family where people always, if you behave in a certain way, people always show you care. That, first of all, has protected me, unlike maybe a girl or a boy who grew up in a family where they don't care. So knowing the importance of community and people being around me is one of the number one thing I had to leverage on. And as I became more aware and conscious, I know that I can't let go of human beings, because when I'm going through this stress, there are not things I can do alone, but by talking to people. And so one of my best practice, yes, I know we are in a world where everybody is now a content creator. People are scared of sharing their stories because they are afraid of, I don't want them to use my story as a content creation, right? And I still have friends who are strong enough, who I believe that they are like a holy ground. So like I said, August, I had a severe mental breakdown. And I had a friend who I told her I was feeling. And she told me, baby girl, relax. I don't want you to do anything. Just sleep. I am praying for you. Like, every day she called me in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening to tell me, I'm praying for you. And that alone, knowing that I have someone, not even just someone, I had people, because I had to speak to my friends about how I was feeling, and they showed up for me. So the number one thing for someone who is going through mental health, have mental health issues, have people you can be vulnerable to.
Yes.
Have someone you can trust. Have somebody you can have a honest conversation with. Because you can't do this life alone.
Yes, definitely.
The world make it look like we are connected, but in real life we are becoming disconnected more than ever.
Yes.
And so have, even though, let me just say, one person, it may not be like me who have up to 10-15 friends who play different roles in my life, but have people you can confide in. And then I pray. I don't know, for those, I know there's a force in charge of this life. So even though you don't want to pray to Jesus or God, but I pray, I get to talk to him. I pronounce God's promises. I say, you said you will never leave me nor forsake me. You're always here with me. And I confess those words. I dwell on them every day. So when the fear and the anxiety comes, I always remember God's promises and I embrace them. And then I love to sleep.
Okay.
God. Hey, more than anything, take food and ask me to sleep. So I love to sleep. I don't play with my rest. So I always love to catch my breath all the time. Because I know that this body it's a machine.
Yes.
So even machines, so once in a while, I need to allow it to rest.
Yes.
So I love to sleep. I love to rest. So if I have a little time, if at any space that I can, I just shut down and just close my eyes and just catch my breath. And then before I used to do a lot of exercise, but now my activities have really made it harder. But I love to take walk around, and so most times when I'm feeling so stressed out, I just take a walk around, get to the sun, have a sun bath, have a lot of fresh air, and then lots of motivation. I go to YouTube, lot of motivational videos. You just play them, and so when you're down, I listen to those motivational videos. People who has even gone through worse, and when you listen to their stories, you're able to like just bounce back. And then I love to have a good bath.
Yes, very important. I mean,
I love to have a good bath. Like I take my time in the bathroom and just enjoy the water. And then I love to dress well. Though even though it's not all the time, but I know that how you dress affects your mood. So most times when I'm really upset or I'm overwhelmed, I just try to dress extra. Like when I mean extra, even on the norms, I could just wear sneakers. I would just be on heels, just so one person can say, you look beautiful. And so that one compliment from somebody can just brighten your day bit by bit. Then imagine when you get it from lots of people. And I also made the conscious effort to, when people really look nice, I'll be like, you look so beautiful. Because
you know how important it is.
Chimamanda said, don't admire in silence. So if I see things that I like, you say, maybe you barb your hair in a very lovely, I say, your haircut is really beautiful. And those make people, these are the things that make us feel alive. And so if this is make me feel good, we are one. Our emotions are one. I also do that to every other person. And
that's nice. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Like most of the misconceptions that I think people have about mental health, they assign it to probably one particular gender, where they say when it comes to mental health, it's probably just the male, or they assign it to the females that develop or probably always have mental health breakdown. So which of the gender do you think applies to mental health when it comes to these problems and these challenges? Which of the gender you feel like is always going through this thing that you see on a regular day, like your everyday, you go and you see that, okay. So you see majority of the problems are applied to women, or it's just in general?
If I've seen 50 clients, I think 45 should be female.
Ew.
No, that does not mean that more women go through mental health issues. Just that more women are more vulnerable. Like the few men I spoke to, you could see that these people are going through serious issues, and they say, men don't cry. Like, be a man, and most of our men are struggling. I see the kind of efforts my dad put in, my grandpa.
Strong.
Like, I wake up in the night to see this man is calculating, writing out all the money he has spent, and I know that this is a real job. Outside that, yes, mothers doing the house chores, taking care of the kids, it's also loads of work. But men, I think men go through more mental health issues than the women. And that's because they don't have who to confide in. A man could be going through something. I cannot tell his fellow guy, oh, more. Guys, this is what happened to me, or this girl served me breakfast upon waiting I don't do for her, you know, because they're trying to protect their ego. And which is why I'm an advocate for women to take care of the men in your life. It could just be like your normal cosmate, like take care of them. The few moments you are around them, make sure they feel seen, make sure they feel that all the efforts they are putting in are worth it. But men are really struggling. But the reason why it doesn't show is because they are not vulnerable like us. Me, I cannot be going through stress. 2 seconds.
You don't know.
Hey God.
You must
2 seconds. I've called my friends. I've called like 4, 5 of them.
Yes, tell them.
Put them on conference call. I say, oh babe, this is what happened. Oh, I don't even know. I could not submit my work, you know. And it makes our own look easier. But men, they can't do that. They just want to chest everything. You be man, now man you be chest down. And I feel personally that because men do not really get vulnerable, that is why I think they struggle more with mental health issues. And so it's also important that men, dear men, I'm sure you're seeing my face. Please, if you can't have a kind male friend, ensure that you're intentional about choosing a kind partner. Not somebody you have to manipulate into loving you, but somebody who you've seen that is willing and is able to see all of the efforts you're putting in and is able to also appreciate you. Because my grandpa is 80. And the last time I spoke to him, I said, what do you think made you more fulfilled? He said, it's your grandmother. Wow. She gave me peace. And I think the peace my grandma gave to him made him raise better children. I'm their first grandchild. I'm 28. And I must tell you that around my grandma, I feel safe. I feel at peace. And everyone in the house is also feeling that,
the same
like
thing.
everybody is sane. Like only few persons normal, which is the normal stresses of life. But I think my house is very peaceful. That's because my grandma set a foundation. And that's because my grandpa made the right choice. He didn't just choose her. She wasn't even educated. She's not educated. But the peace is something nobody should tread with. It's something a man should not tread with. Don't joke with it. And so, because your own word is harder than women, like outside the fact that we are not asking for gender equality. I'm not an advocate of gender equality because I don't want to be a man that suffering plenty. Like I don't want. Sometimes I follow my colleague back to the house. The police will not stop him. And he told me, say, Prisca, do you know that the day I carried this Elijah on my way back, police they stops me. That is why every day I want to be carrying you. That is the innocence and gifts we possess. And wanting and pleading for gender equality mean you need to sign in for police officers stopping you. You need to also go to the prison and see that we have more men in the prison. You need to walk along the street and know that we have more men who are homeless. So while seeking for gender equality, you should know that it's not just about asking for gender equality. These men go through things. If you want to make money, but don't lose your feminine touch. Because
you want to be
what
like
rocks this man's boat could sink ours. And that is why you see some women who are super rich, some of them have lost their feminine energy. And they are always overwhelmed, they're always stressed out because you can't chase women. Like you can't chase women are chasing. Like you can't take it. So in all you do, as a man, as a woman, you just need to keep in touch with yourself. And above that, be true to yourself. One of my favorite quotes is, your vibe attracts your tribe. I think I struggle with the low self-esteem in my secondary school because I was pretending to join the wannabe girls. Like I just wanted to join the happening girls. Maybe I could be seen. But when I got to university, I just stayed on my own, just did my own thing, people were coming to me.
Yes,
I
want to
became
be
like,
like
yes,
you.
I became like a magnet that attracted not just, yeah, my year one, I think I attracted some persons who were not healthy enough. But my year two, when we were taught about mental health, I became more conscious. And now I'm done with my MSc. I bet you I have 99% healthy people around me.
Wow.
And that's because I became more intentional about who I am, what I said to myself, and how I presented myself, not from a place of pretense. And when I'm confused, I'm able to tell somebody, oh, well, I don't understand. Like, this is what I'm feeling. What do you think? And when we become vulnerable, because we are all human, nevertheless, there is always somebody who provides solution to you.
Yeah.
And like I said, that my number one self-care is talking to somebody.
Somebody.
And recently, I'm planning to make a very big move. This one just happened yesterday. I'm planning to make a very big move and I didn't know how to do it. I just coincidentally, a friend in UK called. I said I wanted somebody to help me out on something. I said, okay, I think I know the person. Just for me to speak to the person, trying to, okay, I needed to help my friend in UK to sort out a job. He said, okay. I didn't know how I spoke to him about what I was struggling with. And he recommended a book for me. And I read the book and everything changed. I said, oh, how come I've not seen this? So it's important that you have people you can talk to.
Yes.
And pay attention. Pay attention to your environment.
Yes.
Pay attention to the patterns of things happening. I was coming today. Before I came here, I plugged my phone. I had 1 hour to come. I said, okay, let me plug my phone. In 1 hour time, it should be 100%. What I was doing, what I was doing. When I got back to the office, my mind said, go and check your phone. It's not charging. I said, no, no, no,
Instinct.
no, no. I said, no.
Instinct.
I just continued what I was doing and, you know. And when I was coming, I just turned on my phone to book a ride. I found out my immediately I just turned it on, it died.
It was not charging.
I'd be like, oh God, I heard this. I heard it clearly.
Yes.
And so we must pay attention.
Yes.
You can't be a mentally healthy person if you're not paying attention to your instincts. These things are true.
Yes, a lot of times that I regretted my actions because why, you know, when you even regret, why you regret it is because you have this this thing that tells you that no, do it like this, no, don't do it like this, or go like this, and then you say, oh my God, my mind told me. You will so regret it there.
Yes,
It's even better that thing not even tell you.
Of course, like because you'll be like, I heard it.
Yeah, I heard it.
this
Something
thing.
told me.
Something told me. Why don't I pay attention?
To it.
So, which is why I'm also an advocate of slow living.
Yes. Yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
before.
like slow living. Just I know,
step.
yes, we need to catch up, but then slow living because assuming I paid attention, my phone have not died.
Yes.
And my mind say, put your charger. I said, no, my phone is charged.
Charging.
So I just carried just my phone without the charger, only for me to find out that the phone was dead and then I didn't even have a charger to power my phone. So we need to pay attention
A lot.
and practice slow living, like embrace the spontaneity of every moment and know that there is a force, I call my God, there's a force guiding your life.
Yes.
That cares so much, even care more about you than you care about yourself. Like, but it is not loud. That voice is still. It's right inside of you. And when you pay attention, that is only when you can hear.
Yes.
That is only when you can know, this person you're trying to date may not be the best person now.
Yes.
The person could be good, but maybe at this phase of the person's life is not healthy enough.
For you to
So
come in.
so because it's relationship that deteriorate people's mental health. Some
Yes.
relationships,
A lot of times.
and so, but we must pay attention and see how we will hear the whispers.
Yes,
definitely we hear the whispers. Yeah.
Okay. We're about to call it a wrap, but before we do that, talked about mental health, caring about your mental health, the symptoms, the practices you should take, the steps you should take to getting to living a healthy mental life as a person from my guests today. So before we go, Ma, do you have any words of, I know you've said a lot of things. Yes, you said a lot of things, but just for the purpose of this topic and this video, can you just drop a word of encouragement for anybody out there probably struggling and trying to find himself again, trying to pick his or herself up again?
Like the first thing I recommend is, if you don't know who to talk to, Get the Bible.
Mm.
Just say, God, show me where you want me to read. It has worked for me several times. Just get the Bible, but ensure you find somebody to talk to. We are not isolate. We are, even when God saw Adam, he knew that Adam needed somebody, needed a companion. And that's because it's important that you speak to somebody. When you're able to speak to somebody, it's easy for you to find help. Talk to somebody. If you don't know who to talk to, you can look for me on Facebook, Prisca Obi, and then reach out to me. I could spare you some time. Talk to somebody. Check on YouTube. Search your symptoms. There are loads, thousands of videos that could help.
Yes.
There are books you can read that could change the narrative of your life, and you'll be like, I've been suffering all this while because I didn't know. But talk to somebody, find books and read. Rest. Slow down. God, I don't know how to say this. Shut down your phone and slow down. Don't be under pressure. Like, a lot of persons who are smiling on social media, some of them are also going through stuff. Try not to compare your life to anybody's own. Appreciate your own efforts.
Very important.
You're doing enough. You're the best version. Like, focus on becoming the best version of yourself and don't try to impress anybody. And then live one day at a time. But finally, find meaning in every moment. Whenever you're going through stress, you can just say, what is this moment teaching me? God, what do you want me to know about this time? What do I need to know? Because things do not just happen. Nothing is an accident. They are just God's ways. Like, he had to put those things there for you to go through it. You can't want a big life and you want a little experience. You must go through something tough, because greatness is a lot of small things done well, and it's only tough time that build tough people. And because you need to become the best version of yourself, you need to also help generations who are coming after you. So you need the experience. And so pay attention to yourself and be at peace. Be at peace. Be at peace. Be at peace.
I have learned a lot, and I hope you do too, my viewers out there. We are going to be calling this a wrap, and it has been an amazing discussion from her to you to me. Please do well to subscribe, just in case you're coming across Tepoctv for the very first time. We are at YouTube, we are at Facebook, Instagram, and also on Twitter. You could just do well to follow us to get more of this content coming your way. You can actually do well to explore other content. We have a lot of varieties you could actually look out for on this channel. Thank you very much. I remain your host, Boma Green. Until we come your way next time, this is Health Hustle. Take care of yourself, look good, slow living. Just take your time and maintain good health. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.